I made vids in the past of how I like to play every single one of my custom created characters. I still get questions on what my builds are, so hopefully this vid answers all your questions. I'm going to give two very easy to follow cookie cutter builds. Just follow them to the best of your ability. If you're not able to use the Super Soul that I personally use on either my blasters or strikers, you can always use power, a lot of power, it's great, instead to compensate. And take Energy Zone with you. This is what I personally like to do though. If I'm making a blaster or using a blaster, I will make them slim to make their blast hit that much harder. I will put 125 into HP, Ki, and blast supers on them, not bothering with stamina at all. And I don't need to worry about that because of the QQ Bang that I use on my blasters, which is plus 5 in HP, plus 5 in Ki, plus 5 in stamina, plus 5 in blast supers, and I get the added benefit too with plus 2 in the basic. The best legitimate QQ Bang outcome you can get in the game is plus 22 with 0 drawbacks. Now for the striker version, instead of the plus 2 into basic, or I'm sorry, rather, instead of the plus 5 into blast supers, move that over to strike supers instead. I know it seems odd and maybe even a little counterintuitive to have only plus 2 in basic on my strikers, but I personally prefer the survivability, and more often than not, the best DPS you can get in this game is just by spamming supers. And there are two ridiculously great and overpowered supers in the game that you can spam, whether you're a blaster or a striker. For blasters, you're going to want to spam the Ever-Living Crap and a Vanishing Bolt. And for strikers, you are going to want to get really good at just guarding your AI opponent and then breaking them immediately after with a heavy attack, fully charged. And after you break them, you spam Kamehameha Boost. You can equip whatever as your other strike ability. You can equip things like Bending Kamehameha, you can equip Darkness Twin Star, maybe even Focus Flash. Go nuts. Blasters have way too many options that are really good. For the strikers, you're going to want to equip, obviously, Kamehameha Boost. You can spam that over and over. And other moves you can equip, Soaring Fist, Savory Slicer, Deadly Dance. They have a few good options, just nowhere near as good or as much as the blasters. I like using Do or Die because I proc Elder Kai Super Soul, which Do or Die will give me a defense boost, and Elder Kai Super Soul will slowly heal me throughout the match, as well as my team if anyone's with me. It's just my personal go-to preset on either my blasters or strikers. Now, earlier I had mentioned that to make my blast hit harder on my blasting characters, I make them slim. For strikers, you want to make them buff. That'll make their strikes and basics both hit harder. Now for my strikers, I like to put 125 into HP, 125 into Ki, and 125 into strike supers. I don't bother with basic, I don't bother with stamina. And the reason being for that is because of the QQ Bang I have, as well as my attribute layout. Me, personally, I feel, in my opinion, it's best if you're going to have an amount of stamina bars, you try to keep it as close to 7 as possible. Now, reason being for that is that when you lose all your stamina, depending on how many bars you have at max, if you have 10 stamina bars, it's going to take considerably longer for you to get all your stamina back. Now, on the flip side of the spectrum, 7 stamina bars is more than enough to work with while you're fighting. If you need to vanish a few times, you can do that. If you need to use an evasive or two, you can do that. If you need like a brief break where you break your opponent and you need to use your evasive, whether it's Spirit Explosion or Super Explosive Wave, you can break them, knock them away, get rid of all your stamina, Start regularly boosting around so that you're empty. Then rush at your opponent if you're a blaster. Spam Vanishing Ball. Or if you are using a striker, regularly boost towards them. Hit them with a basic. Try to knock them down if your character has something to allow you to do so. Otherwise, just keep doing a basic or two, make them flop, and then as they're falling, get ready to hit them with a Kamehameha boost. And approach it that way. And when their stamina is about to recover, you can knock them away. That's something I like to do myself. But you should really never be in trouble with Elder Kai Super Soul and Do or Die. Now, like I said earlier, if you prefer to put points into stamina at all, or you don't really like the Super Soul for Elder Kai, you can replace Do or Die with something else and equip Energy Zone. And that would take care of the need for you to heal. I personally find it much easier and much safer to just use Do or Die with Elder Kai Super Soul. I feel that my characters do more than enough damage. Same with my attribute points. And even the Awoken, while it's not the greatest or the most damage-heavy Awoken in the game, I prefer a all-around boost to my characters. I don't like the other transformations in the game because there's always a downside, which to me is a glorified gimmick, so I don't bother with them. But hopefully this answers a lot of your questions about how to easily go about tackling Parallel Quest 122, as well as Parallel Quest in general. I am no expert at this, nor am I claiming to be. This is what works for me. I hope it works for some of you. Let me know what you guys use down below. I'm always open to try out new things. I'm gonna go get some rest for right now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.